The river whispered softly beneath a pale dawn, carrying away secrets that Willow Creek was never meant to keep. There, alone on the muddy banks, shivering in silence, was Ace, a German shepherd whose gentle eyes searched endlessly for a promise that would never return. Before we continue this emotional journey, take a moment and share with us in the comments where you're listening from, so we can feel closer together as this story unfolds. Because sometimes, it's the quietest voices that leave the deepest marks on our hearts. The dawn sky stretched gently across Willow Creek, painting soft shades of lavender and peach that mirrored on the river's glassy surface. But beauty felt strangely hollow here, overshadowed by an uneasy stillness. At the muddy edge, nearly hidden beneath tall, dew-soaked reeds, Ace lay motionless, a once strong German shepherd whose dark sable coat now clung damp and heavy to his weakened frame. His deep brown eyes, so full of warmth and loyalty, stared relentlessly at the worn leather bag just inches away, as though it held answers he desperately needed to find. Every shallow breath Ace drew trembled slightly. Each heartbeat echoed faintly with an unspoken vow. He would remain here, guarding this bag, whatever the cost. Hours had slipped away unnoticed. The chill settled deeper into Ace's bones, his body aching with exhaustion, yet nothing could make him abandon his silent watch. Memories flickered through his mind, gentle and painful, blurred images of warm laughter, soft hands stroking his fur, whispers of reassurance in the night, all faded now into a distant dream. The cold and solitude around him were unyielding, and yet Ace stayed. This wasn't just a duty, it was a promise rooted deep in the depths of his soul, unbreakable even in abandonment. Not far from this secluded spot, Adam Bennett had risen early, stepping outside onto his modest cabin porch, the steaming mug of coffee in his hand, contrasting sharply with the chill morning air. Adam, a rugged man in his early 50s, wore his weathered features proudly, scars and lines etched deeply across a face that once knew bravery firsthand. His silver-streaked brown hair was unkempt, framing sharp blue eyes shadowed with a quiet sadness, a man who had traded heroics for solitude. After years battling flames, saving lives, and carrying memories that refused to fade, Adam chose Willow Creek for its simplicity and solitude, seeking peace that eluded him elsewhere. Something about this particular morning stirred unease within him, pulling Adam beyond his daily routine toward the riverbank path, where he rarely ventured these days. As he walked slowly along the uneven trail, his breath fogged softly in the crisp air, boots crunching quietly over gravel and damp earth. The world around him was just waking. Birds chirped tentatively, the scent of fresh water hung in the air, mingled with something else, subtle and yet troubling. A hint of sorrow that Adam instantly recognized. His heart quickened slightly, intuition whispering that something awaited him nearby, something he wasn't prepared to find. Emerging from a thick line of trees, Adam paused at the sight of a shadowy figure lying close to the river's edge. He squinted, the dim morning light slowly revealing the shape of a dog. Ace remained utterly still, eyes fixed, even as Adam cautiously approached. Kneeling softly beside the trembling animal, Adam felt an immediate pang of compassion grip his heart, noticing how desperately thin and fragile Ace had become. The dog's gaze never left the battered leather bag resting in the grass beside him, drawing Adam's curiosity and concern simultaneously. "Hey there, buddy," Adam murmured softly, his voice a gentle rasp that seemed to surprise him. Ace flinched slightly, ears twitching, but made no attempt to run. Adam reached carefully, allowing Ace to sniff his hand first, sensing the cautious trust forming between them. Gently stroking the dog's damp fur, Adam noticed Ace's collar, a once gleaming silver band etched faintly with the name. He whispered aloud, "Ace." Glancing again toward the bag, Adam felt compelled to understand. He carefully reached forward to inspect it, but Ace let out a quiet, plaintive whine that halted him instantly. Understanding passed silently between them. This wasn't merely an object, it was something sacred, something Ace had been entrusted to protect. Adam sighed deeply, recognizing in Ace the same unwavering resolve he once carried into burning buildings, that fierce determination to save, to honor promises made even in impossible circumstances. "All right, Ace," Adam whispered quietly, scooping the trembling dog carefully into his arms. Ace shuddered briefly, finally surrendering his weary body to the gentle touch. Adam rose slowly, holding Ace protectively close, the leather bag secured carefully beneath his other arm, understanding that whatever secrets it contained, it was now part of their shared journey. As he began the slow walk home, Ace pressed his head weakly against Adam's chest, a quiet trust passing between two hearts that had seen too much, carried too much, and now, perhaps, could finally heal together. The warmth of Adam Bennett's cabin gently wrapped around Ace, yet comfort seemed to elude the German shepherd entirely, as if something vital had been left behind at the riverbank. Adam carefully tended to Ace, preparing a soft bedding area by the fireplace, offering food and water that the dog barely acknowledged, his deep eyes persistently gazing toward the door. Restless with a quiet anxiety Adam couldn't ignore. Hours passed slowly, marked only by the crackling of firewood and the subdued sounds of Ace's unsettled breathing, until Adam realized this was more than simple exhaustion. It was a longing that words couldn't describe. Ace repeatedly rose, limped toward the cabin door, whining softly, pawing gently at the handle. His determination, unwavering despite his weakened condition, each attempt more heartbreaking than the last. Realizing Ace wouldn't find peace until the mystery of the leather bag was resolved, Adam gently soothed the dog, whispering reassuring words while carefully preparing to return to the river. With Ace safely resting on a worn quilt by the hearth, Adam slipped into his heavy coat, pulling worn leather boots snugly onto his feet, preparing to confront whatever secrets awaited him by the water's edge. Outside, the wind whispered softly through towering pines as he retraced his earlier steps, the soft murmurs of the river guiding him back to the exact spot where Ace had been discovered. The bag lay undisturbed where he'd left it, almost invisible among the reeds. Adam hesitated, feeling an inexplicable weight in his chest, a sense of reverence and apprehension intertwined. Kneeling down, his calloused hands gently lifted the leather bag, feeling the supple surface roughened by weather and age, yet surprisingly intact, as if guarded by something more than mere chance. He carefully opened the fastenings, revealing inside a smaller wooden box, meticulously crafted and tightly sealed. A faint scent of cedar emanated from the smooth surface, suggesting careful preservation, respect, and perhaps a touch of sorrow. Turning it slowly in his hands, Adam's eyes caught sight of delicately etched lettering, carved neatly into the polished lid. Sophie Grant. The name echoed quietly through Adam's mind, unfamiliar yet somehow deeply significant. He traced the lettering with his fingertips, imagining the person behind the name, feeling instinctively that Sophie Grant was at the heart of Ace's unwavering devotion. Holding the wooden box carefully, Adam rose from the damp grass, glancing back at the river as though searching for a hidden clue, before making his way slowly back toward his cabin. Inside, Ace immediately stirred, ears perking up, his tail flicking weakly in recognition of the precious object Adam now carried. Adam placed the wooden box gently on the table, watching Ace carefully approach, sniffing at it softly, reverently, as though confirming a sacred connection. Adam fetched his laptop, settling heavily into his chair, curiosity urging him to discover who Sophie Grant was and why her name was inscribed on something Ace had so faithfully guarded. A quick search illuminated his screen, bringing to life the face of Sophie Grant, a young woman in her early 30s, with soft auburn hair framing gentle green eyes filled with warmth and determination. The obituary beneath her photograph struck Adam deeply. Sophie Grant, beloved educator and passionate animal advocate, tragically passed away in a car accident near Willow Creek 2 weeks prior. Adam's breath caught in his throat, the realization of loss mingling sharply with sorrow, his gaze drifting back to Ace, who now lay curled beside the wooden box, as though reunited with a lost part of himself. The article detailed Sophie's dedication to animals, particularly her beloved German shepherd, Ace, describing him as a loyal companion known throughout town for his gentle disposition and unwavering devotion to his owner. The connection was now painfully clear, and Adam felt the quiet weight of responsibility settle upon his shoulders, recognizing that Ace had carried not only his grief, but also the profound trust placed upon him by the woman he loved deeply. Adam gently reached toward Ace, softly stroking his fur, feeling a mutual comfort pass between them, as if an unspoken bond had formed in their shared understanding of loss and remembrance. Outside, evening settled peacefully over Willow Creek, stars emerging softly in the darkening sky, their quiet glow offering solace to a cabin holding the memories and promises of those left behind. Ace drifted slowly into sleep, his head resting lightly against the wooden box, finally finding temporary peace in the knowledge that the man beside him understood what he had been guarding all along: a memory worth preserving, a love worth protecting, and a life whose story was not yet fully told. Early morning light filtered through the curtains of Adam's modest cabin, casting gentle shadows that danced softly across the quiet room. Ace lay curled near the hearth, his breathing rhythmic and steady, though sadness still lingered visibly in his weary eyes. Adam, sitting nearby, sipped slowly from his coffee mug, his thoughtful gaze fixed on Sophie Grant's photograph, now resting gently atop the worn wooden table beside the mysterious cedar box. His curiosity deepened, accompanied by a gentle sense of sorrow for a life lost too soon, and a connection left painfully unfinished. Determined to understand more, Adam carefully noted down details from Sophie's obituary, resolving to uncover more about her story and what it meant for Ace, the devoted dog who'd found himself alone at the riverbank. Later that morning, Adam drove into Willow Creek, pulling up to the town's cozy library, a modest building nestled beside towering maples whose leaves whispered quietly in the gentle breeze. Inside, he met Helen Foster, a warm-hearted woman in her late 60s, who had worked as the town librarian for nearly 3 decades. Helen's soft silver hair framed kind, knowing eyes behind delicate reading glasses, and her voice carried the comforting steadiness of someone accustomed to caring for others. After Adam explained his inquiry, Helen smiled softly, nodding with understanding, guiding him toward a quiet corner where local newspaper archives rested on dusty shelves. Carefully sorting through past issues, Adam soon discovered Sophie's vibrant life clearly illustrated in articles that spoke lovingly of her contributions to the community. A respected and beloved educator at Willow Creek Elementary, Sophie had devoted herself tirelessly to inspiring children, fostering kindness, compassion, and responsibility toward animals. Photographs captured her engaging smile, surrounded by excited students, Ace faithfully seated beside her, a gentle giant, his sable fur gleaming in sunlight, intelligent eyes quietly watching over the classroom as Sophie taught her students valuable lessons on empathy and rescue. Moved deeply by the glimpses into Sophie's meaningful existence, Adam also learned more about the tragic accident that had taken her life. Sophie had been returning home from a local animal shelter fundraiser, driving along the winding forest road near the riverbank when her car skidded off into an embankment, unnoticed for hours. Initial reports mentioned Ace being in the vehicle, presumed lost or injured, his whereabouts unknown following the crash. Adam felt a deep pang of sorrow, realizing how Ace's return to the river, guarding Sophie's belongings, symbolized the profound loyalty and love the dog carried, fulfilling a promise he alone seemed to remember. Leaving the library, Adam paused thoughtfully, his heart heavy with newfound understanding, yet touched profoundly by the story of dedication between Sophie and Ace. As he drove slowly through the familiar streets of Willow Creek, he passed the elementary school, its brightly painted walls echoing with the cheerful laughter of children. Impulsively, Adam parked nearby and walked cautiously toward the main office, his rugged features softened slightly by hesitant curiosity. There, Adam met the school's principal, Margaret Lewis, a calm, thoughtful woman in her 50s, who welcomed him warmly upon hearing his intentions. Margaret recalled Sophie fondly, her gentle voice tinged with sadness as she described the lasting impact Sophie left behind in every classroom, hallway, and student's memory. She had a way, Margaret explained gently, of making everyone around her believe in something greater, especially the children. Ace was an important part of that. Margaret paused, emotion catching briefly in her voice, before softly adding, "After the accident, the children asked about Ace almost daily, wondering if he was safe, hoping he would someday return." Touched by Margaret's words, Adam thanked her sincerely, promising quietly to bring Ace by sometime soon, believing it might offer both the children and Ace a measure of healing. Returning home, he entered the cabin quietly, greeted warmly by Ace, who stood with ears perked attentively, sensing Adam's emotional return. Kneeling beside him, Adam gently stroked the German Shepherd's soft fur, looking deeply into the dog's trusting eyes, feeling an unspoken connection strengthening between them, a bond rooted deeply in mutual loss, understanding, and hope. "You're not forgotten," Adam whispered softly, the words intended both for Ace and for Sophie, whose legacy he now carried forward. As twilight settled gently over the quiet woods of Willow Creek, Adam reflected on the day's revelations, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Ace lay at his feet, quietly breathing, the warmth of the fire gently enveloping them both, as though Sophie herself were silently reassuring them, guiding their next steps from somewhere beyond the fading evening light. The cabin was quiet, save for the gentle crackling of logs in the fireplace and the soft breathing of Ace, whose strength seemed to fade a little more with each passing day. Adam Bennett sat thoughtfully by the wooden table, fingers gently tracing the edges of the cedar box that held Sophie Grant's memory so tenderly. With cautious reverence, Adam carefully opened the small box, revealing within a faded, leather-bound journal whose pages bore the warmth of frequent touch. As he slowly leafed through the pages, Sophie's delicate handwriting unfolded before him, each word carrying her unmistakable compassion and quiet determination, painting a vivid picture of her dreams and deep connection with Ace. The journal described days filled with gentle laughter and lessons, and late evenings comforting rescued animals at the local shelter, moments of quiet strength and endless hope. Adam's heart tightened softly as he reached one particular page, Sophie's words written with hopeful intensity. "Ace and I found the perfect spot today." The passage read, "A peaceful meadow near Willow Creek, surrounded by tall oaks and wildflowers. It's perfect for our sanctuary, a haven where every animal will know love and kindness, no matter how broken or lost they've become." Adam paused thoughtfully, sensing the warmth in her words, feeling deeply the passion Sophie once held for this place, this vision she had hoped to bring to life alongside Ace. Beside him, Ace suddenly stirred, raising his head weakly, his intelligent eyes meeting Adam's gaze with quiet urgency, as though somehow recognizing the significance of this moment. Slowly, Ace rose to his paws, visibly trembling with exhaustion, yet filled with a determined resolve Adam instantly recognized. The German Shepherd moved toward the cabin door, looking back expectantly, silently asking Adam to follow, to trust him in a journey that now seemed essential. Without hesitation, Adam stood, grabbing his coat and Sophie's journal, ready to accompany Ace on this important pilgrimage. Outside, the day was crisp, filled with the scent of fallen leaves and fresh earth, sunlight softly filtering through autumn branches. Ace walked ahead slowly, yet purposefully, guiding Adam through familiar trails that soon gave way to winding paths, deepening into the untouched heart of Willow Creek's countryside. Eventually, they emerged into a secluded meadow, exactly as Sophie had described, vibrant wildflowers swaying gently beneath towering oak trees, a place touched by quiet serenity. Ace stopped, his breathing heavier now, turning to Adam with a look filled with expectation and profound longing. Adam knelt beside him, gently stroking Ace's head, understanding this place was not simply land, it was a promise waiting patiently to be fulfilled, an unfinished dream Sophie had left in Ace's care. "We'll do it, Ace," Adam whispered softly, his voice thick with emotion. "For Sophie and for you." Ace's eyes brightened, ears gently flicking forward, the quiet gratitude and relief passing silently between them. Adam felt deeply humbled by this responsibility, knowing now he was entrusted with more than a memory. It was a legacy, a calling he could not ignore. Over the following days, Adam began making arrangements to fulfill Sophie's vision, contacting locals who once knew her, sharing plans for a new sanctuary. News quickly spread through Willow Creek, welcomed warmly by the community Sophie had so deeply touched. Volunteers offered support, gathering supplies and materials to begin turning the meadow into the refuge Sophie had dreamed of, their collective efforts, a heartfelt tribute to her kindness and dedication. Ace remained at Adam's side throughout, his weakened body slowly revitalized by a renewed sense of purpose, the warmth of companionship, and the gentle healing offered by each step toward realizing Sophie's sanctuary. Watching Ace regain strength, Adam knew profoundly how powerful love and purpose could be, how deeply they could heal wounds unseen yet keenly felt. He saw in Ace a resilience he himself had once forgotten, mirrored softly in his own heart as they both moved steadily forward together. One quiet evening, standing side by side in the meadow, beneath a sky painted gently in hues of twilight, Adam looked down at Ace, recognizing the quiet determination that had guided them here. Ace gazed back, a peaceful trust settled comfortably in his eyes, silently acknowledging that Sophie's dream had not ended with her. It now lived on, carried by those who remembered her love, and by a loyal dog who had never given up hope. Together, they were ensuring the dream Sophie cherished would finally blossom, a place where kindness flourished, memories endured, and promises were forever honored. Weeks passed gently, each day breathing life into Sophie's sanctuary, a quiet haven nestled within the serene landscape of Willow Creek. Adam Bennett poured his heart into the project, working alongside the townspeople, their hands carefully planting seeds of hope in the fertile ground Sophie had chosen with such love and care. Ace, the steadfast German shepherd, stood ever by Adam's side, his once weakened frame gradually regaining strength, his dark sable coat reclaiming its former sheen, and his deep, gentle eyes sparkling once again with renewed purpose. Ace's recovery mirrored the sanctuary's progress, each step forward marked by small triumphs and quiet perseverance, resonating softly in the hearts of all who watched him heal. As the shelter's construction neared completion, the community of Willow Creek gathered together on a crisp autumn afternoon beneath a sky painted with warm golden hues. Families, children, and elders stood in quiet anticipation around the newly built entrance, a simple yet beautiful wooden gate engraved lovingly with Sophie's name. Margaret Lewis, the gentle principal from Willow Creek Elementary, stood near Adam, smiling softly, her presence a warm reminder of Sophie's enduring impact. Nearby, Helen Foster, the compassionate librarian, clutched a handkerchief, visibly moved by the meaningful gathering. Adam stepped forward slowly, Ace walking confidently beside him, as they faced the crowd. Adam's voice trembled softly as he spoke. "Today, we gather here not only to open a shelter, but to honor the dreams and memories of someone whose kindness touched us all. Sophie Grant was a woman whose life was dedicated entirely to compassion, love, and endless hope. Her legacy lives here, within these walls, and through Ace, who never gave up on his promise." Ace gazed upward at Adam, calm and steady, as though understanding every word spoken, recognizing the significance of this moment deeply within his loyal heart. As Adam finished speaking, the crowd quietly applauded, many moved to tears, sharing collective gratitude and remembrance. The gate was gently opened, allowing everyone to enter the sanctuary for the first time, welcomed warmly by the soft rustle of trees, vibrant flowers, and carefully prepared shelters designed to offer comfort and safety to animals in need. Children from the elementary school gathered excitedly around Ace, reaching out gently to stroke his fur, their laughter mingling softly with quiet whispers of awe and appreciation. Margaret watched warmly, recalling how Sophie had envisioned this very scene, grateful it had finally come true. Among the crowd, an elderly man named Robert Thompson, a retired veterinarian, respected deeply within Willow Creek, stepped forward with kind eyes and a gentle smile. Approaching Adam quietly, Robert spoke with warm sincerity. "Sophie would be proud. This place isn't just a sanctuary for animals, it's a sanctuary for us too. A reminder of how much good can grow from compassion." Adam nodded slowly, gratitude evident in his expression, moved profoundly by Robert's heartfelt words. Throughout the afternoon, visitors explored the sanctuary, witnessing firsthand the realization of Sophie's dream, each corner filled with a quiet sense of hope and promise. Adam watched as Ace interacted gracefully with everyone he met, his gentle temperament bringing comfort and joy, a true symbol of resilience and faithfulness. At the heart of the sanctuary stood a simple plaque, carefully crafted from cedar, bearing Sophie's smiling photograph beside the engraved words, "In memory of Sophie Grant, whose kindness continues to inspire us all." As evening softly settled over Willow Creek, Adam found himself standing quietly with Ace beneath the shelter of a large oak tree, watching stars begin to gently illuminate the darkening sky. A peaceful stillness enveloped them, carrying whispers of gratitude, memory, and the quiet fulfillment of a promise kept. Ace lay quietly at Adam's feet, relaxed and content, the bond between them now deeply rooted in shared purpose and gentle healing. Adam's heart felt lighter, a quiet joy emerging from within, knowing he had found not only a way to honor Sophie's memory but also a renewed sense of meaning in his own life. Softly stroking Ace's fur, Adam spoke quietly. "You did good, buddy. Sophie would be proud of us both." Ace lifted his head gently, eyes meeting Adam's with quiet understanding, before resting peacefully once more, both knowing that while Sophie was no longer physically present, her spirit would forever live on through them, through this sanctuary, and through the hope reborn within Willow Creek. In the end, Ace taught us that loyalty isn't measured in grand gestures, but in quiet sacrifices, patiently made with love and without expectation. It's a reminder that true courage lives in our hearts, waiting silently to guide us when needed most. If this story touched your soul, please join us here, subscribe, and stay close, because together we'll discover more stories that gently speak to the very heart of what makes us human.